Okay, in between chapters 2 and 3, we have this lovely great map provided of the mighty Roman Empire, TM, and there are one or two interesting features here, notably this line drawn kind of down the middle, this dotted line, which shows everywhere west of there, people generally spoke Latin, and on the east, people spoke Greek as a rule. Obviously, in the middle, they made up their minds what they want to speak, I'm sure. Also, you have big hairy barbarians at the top here, beyond the fringes of the Roman Empire. Everyone here, big hairy Persians on the east. And down here, no one knows who lives here, but they're probably big and hairy. You kind of got the level of what it's about. All right, so things you learn from Christian history, number 3. Christianity and power do not mix. When Jesus wanted to illustrate power and status, he chose a child as an example. He told his disciples not to lord it over one another, like the Gentiles in Luke 22, 25 to 26. Chapter 3. Constantine, Councils and Creeds. Quick fact file on Constantine. Constantine, from a coin depicting him as a sun god. There's a little picture there of what he looked like, which no one can make out because it's so dark. Name, Flavius Valerius Aurelius Constantinus, aka Constantine I the Great. Nationality, Roman, born in Britain, probably at York. Dates circa 285 to 337. Appearance, tall, broad-shouldered, handsome, given to ornate dress, such as oriental diadem, a helmet studded with jewels, a purple mantle of silk richly embroidered with pearls, and flowers worked in gold. That's from Gok 1, Eat Your Heart Out. Before he was famous, soldier, famous for being the first Christian emperor. Christian in quotes there. Why does he matter? He adopted Christianity, he gave Christianity legal status, and paved the way for Christianity to become the official religion of the empire. Could you have a drink with him down the pub? Well, you could join him at a banquet, I suppose. Not quite the same thing. Here comes the Sun King. Diocletian handed over the empire to his senior management team of 4 emperors. They showed their sense of responsibility by immediately launching a series of attacks at each other. In the west, Britain was under the command of Constantius I. He died in 306 at Eboracum, or York, and was succeeded by his son Constantine. 6 years later, Constantine's army faced one of his rivals, Maxentius, in a winner-takes-all bout for control of the western half of the empire. The battle took place at the Milvian Ridge, just outside Rome. So Milvian Bridge. According to Constantine's own account, the evening before the battle, he saw a vision, a cross of light that shone amid the rays of the sun, and in it the words, "Under this sign, conquer." The sign was a combination of 2 Greek letters, chi and rho, the first 2 letters of the word Christ in Greek, formed into the shape of a cross. The next day, his troops destroyed their old pagan imagery, marched to battle under this new Christian symbol, and cut their enemy to pieces. Jesus must have been so proud. He claimed that all his soldiers also saw this vision as well, although strangely, not one of the 40,000 said anything about it at the time. Constantine duly established himself as the Emperor of the West, halted the persecution of Christians, and ordered the return of any confiscated property. The following year, only 10 years since the start of Diocletian's great persecution, he had a meeting with Licinius, Emperor of the East, not to mention Nanook of the North, the Queen of the South, Scot of the Antarctic, and the Wicked Witch of the West, and issued the Edict of Milan, which proclaimed toleration for all faiths. 2 years later, crucifixion was abolished. You could hardly continue to use a method of punishment that had been used to kill your god. And in 321, Sunday was given the legal status of a Sabbath. Now, you might take from all this that Constantine was a Christian, but you'd be wrong. That is to say, he wasn't a Christian in any sense we would understand. The coins of Constantine, and Roman coins were always the medium for state propaganda, never actually carried any Christian symbols. Instead, they were adorned by images of Mars, the god of war, and of those nourishing chocolate bars, and of the sun. Yes, there were a lot of symbols of the sun. Constantine worshipped the sun, just as much as he worshipped the Son of God. By the end of the 3rd century, the ultimate being touted by the Neoplatonists had become identified with the sun. The worship of the sun god became popular in the Roman Empire. Hardly surprising in the Mediterranean, although evidence shows it never caught on in Manchester. Constantine seems to have combined Christianity with his own worship of the sun god. Jesus had, after all, spoken to him from the sun. This is the real reason why he declared Sunday a Sabbath. "It seems to us improper," he said, "that the day of the sun, which is kept for its veneration, should be spent in legal disputes." Christian leaders, who now had a powerful, wealthy supporter, certainly weren't inclined to worry too much about his orthodoxy. He was, after all, giving them safety, security, and a lot of money for really big churches and really posh clothes. After all, as it surely ought to say in the Bible somewhere, don't look a gift horse in the mouth. In fact, they appear to have slavishly followed the emperor's interfaith approach. When they got their calendars together to arrange a date to celebrate Christ's birth, they chose the 25th of December, the same day as the Roman feast of the birth of the unconquered sun. Coincidence? You decide.